Hello students, welcome back to this session of PW International Boards. Here I am again to discuss with the next chapter, that is chemical energetics. Now, when I am talking about the word chemical energetics, what it exactly means. So we are going to talk about that also. Before that, as you all know that I am your chemistry mentor, so going to discuss this particular chapter, and the subject code for our chemistry is 0620. Okay, so now let's first of all talk about the energetics. Now energetics over here, if I talk about it, means that it is a chemical energy. Now basically, whenever we have a every bond carries a certain amount of the energy. So you can say it is an energy which is stored in the bond. That is called as a chemical energy. Now in this chapter, that is energetics, when we are talking about the bond and its energy, it means that whenever a chemical reaction takes place, that particular chemical reaction may release heat or may not release heat. Means it may be exothermic and it may not be exothermic. So we are going to discuss all these things in this particular chapter. So let's see the topics which we are going to cover over here. Now, the first topic which we are going to cover over here is the exothermic reaction. Now, when we are talking about the exothermic reaction means what? That's something which is coming outside. Next topic which we are going to discuss is the endothermic reaction. Then next is going to be the reaction pathway diagram. After that, enthalpy of reaction. So basically we are going to talk about complete about that how the reaction is taking place. Then bond making and bond breaking and activation energy. Now look, this energetic chapter is very small chapter, but if I talk about the questions in each and every paper, you are going to get a single question over here. And the question is based on the exothermic, endothermic or a graph based question from the reaction pathway or even a activation energy. Enthalpy of the reaction, if I say you are not going to get a separate question on the enthalpy of the reaction, but you get a in combination question, like it can be along the exothermic or endothermic or a reaction pathway diagram about the enthalpy of reaction. If I talk about the bond making and bond breaking, this question we get, and it is basically a numerical question. Okay, it is a numerical question which we get over here. Okay, so let's start with our chapter over here. So first thing is a exothermic reaction. Now look, the technique to learn the exothermic or to differentiate the exo and endothermic, if you are having a confusion, exo, if I take a word EXO, let me write down the complete only exothermic, and I mention the word exit. In both the cases, if you are going to compare EX, now exit means what? To move out, isn't it? So it means exo means also what? To move out. Over here I am using a word release because I want to relate it with the chemistry. So basically when we are talking about the exothermic reactions, in the case of the exothermic reactions, what we can say over here, that it is a transfer of thermal energy. Now when we are saying it is a transfer of thermal energy, then thermal energy is transferring from where? From a chemical reaction to the surrounding. So basically it is a transfer of thermal energy to the surrounding. Now when a heat is being transferred to the surrounding, what happens? The temperature of the surrounding is going to increase. So it leads to the increase in the temperature of surroundings. Okay. Now it means that whenever we are going to get a carry out the reaction, and that particular reaction is transferring a temperature, or you can say transferring a heat from the reaction to the surrounding, then that particular reaction is called as an exothermic reaction. And in that case, the temperature of the surrounding is going to increase. Okay, like for example, if you look, igniting a firecracker. In that particular case, a lot of heat is produced. Lighting a candle, lighting a bulb, and combustion of fuel. Even if you relate during the winter seasons, what we do, we burn the wood, we burn the coal. Why? Coal. Why? Because we want to have a temperature in our surrounding to be hotter. Now for that particular temperature to be hotter, what we do, we are burning the wood or we are burning the coal over there, isn't it? So that particular thing is what happening when we are burning a coal or we are burning a wood, it is producing a heat, and that heat is coming in our surrounding, because of which temperature becomes hotter over there, or you can say there is the increase in the temperature, and that's why we feel a bit comfortable during the winter season, or we get a hotter environment around us. So what are going to be the characteristics then? The product get the lower energy form from the reactants. Now over here, let's talk about this line. When we are talking about the exothermic reaction, for exothermic reaction to take place, we are not providing it any heat. It means that the energy of the reactant is high. That's why it is able to start on its own, isn't it? Now when it is going to start on its own and it is going to give a product, the heat or the energy of the product is going to be lower as compared to the reactant, and heat is going to release. When you increase the temperature in the heat is released, then there will be the increase in temperature in surrounding. So what we can say, the overall system energy decreases from reactants to the products. Okay. Next is endothermic reaction. Now, when we are talking about the endothermic reaction means what? Again, we are using a word endothermic. And if I talk about simple endo only, it means what? That something which is coming inside, just relating our words. So it means over here that we are providing the heat energy to our reaction, to our system. Now from where that heat energy is coming? That heat energy is coming from the surrounding. So when it is coming from the surrounding, it means the temperature of the surrounding is going to decrease. So endothermic reaction is what? It is a transfer of thermal energy from the surroundings, leading to a decrease in the temperature of the surroundings. Okay. So let's talk about the example. Like we have kept over here one example as the photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, if we look, the plants are able to produce the energy, or they are able to cook their food. Why? Because they are absorbing the energy, heat energy from the sun. If there won't be any sun, it means the plant is not able to prepare the food. It requires a sun energy, that heat energy, in order to prepare the food. So what it is doing, it is absorbing the energy from the sun. Similarly, in the case of the thermal decomposition of potassium permanganate, what is happening? We are giving heat to it. When we are giving heat to it, then only it is able to decompose and produce the oxygen. Okay. Examples of the endothermic reaction, like nuclear fusion reactions, formation of nitric oxide from N2 and O2. These are the other examples. Now, what are the characteristics of the endothermic reactions? Basically, in the endothermic reaction, what we saw, that there is the absorption of the heat. From where it is absorbing? From the surrounding. Surrounding temperature is decreasing. Why? Because from the surrounding we are supplying the heat to our reaction, and products have the higher energy than the reactants. Of course, the energy of the reactants are lesser. That is the reason that we are giving the heat to it from the surrounding. Next comes your reaction pathway. Now when we are talking about the reaction pathway diagram, it is not a very complex thing. It is basically a graphical representation only for a reaction to take place. Now what it is a chemical reaction energy which can be illustrated with the help of a reaction pathway diagram. that we just show over here that what pathway and how the reaction took place, whether the reaction is the exothermic or endothermic. These all things only we study in the reaction pathway diagrams. Like for the exothermic reactions, we know that exothermic reaction means what? That over here there will be the release of heat, isn't it? Now in the case of the release of heat, if I am talking about, in this we took the example of the methane and oxygen. Now methane is undergoing a combustion process, means methane we are burning in the presence of the oxygen. Now we are not providing any heat to it. If you look over here, the reaction of our methane and oxygen, that is they are our what? They are reactant. This is shown upper side. It means their energy is what? High. When they are reacting, both of them when they are reacting, means if I like write down the chemical equation, it gives us the CO2 plus 2H2. Okay, so basically when they are reacting, what they are producing? They are producing the CO2 and H2O. So these are what? Product. They are shown downside. It means that their energy is low, isn't it? So basically what is happening? As the reaction is proceeding, it is in progress, our reactants are reacting. When they are reacting, their energy was very high. It was high, so that's why we did not provided anything from the outside, to any energy, any heat energy from the outside. So when they reacted, they produced the heat outside and we got the product, and the product's energy is going to be low. Talking about the endothermic reaction. Now, when we are talking about the endothermic reaction, endo means that they are going to absorb the heat. Okay. Now, in this particular case, we have taken the example of the nitrogen and oxygen to show the reaction pathway. Now, in this case, nitrogen and oxygen are what? They are reactant. Now, look, we have shown them in the graph downside. It means that over here their energy is what? Low. When they reacted, we get the 2NO. So this 2NO is product and it is upside. So it means that its energy is high. Okay. So this is how the reaction pathway we study, and we can identify by looking the position of the reactant and the product in the graph, that whether the given graph is endothermic or exothermic. Means whatever the pathway they are following over there, that is for the exo or for the endo. Next is the enthalpy. Now another word for the enthalpy which we can say is the energy also. Basically, it is a thermal energy, means it is a heat energy content of a system, which is called as the enthalpy of the system. This enthalpy is for the extended students only. So now what happens that whenever we are talking about the heat exchange, like heat is absorbed or heat is liberated, that is released, we have the word used there, enthalpy. This enthalpy change we denote for the change delta, that is your delta H. Now this delta H is going to be positive or delta H going to be negative. If we are saying positive, it is going to be positive for the endothermic reactions, and if we are saying negative, then it means it is a exothermic reactions. Okay. So now delta H represents the thermal energy transfer in the reaction. Exothermic heat release lowers the system enthalpy, means its value is going to be the lesser than the 0. That's why I told you that it is going to be what? It is going to be negative. And in the case of endothermic, heat absorption raises the system enthalpy, means delta H value is going to be greater than the 0. So it means that its value is going to be positive over here. Okay. So if you look in this particular case, we have shown the reactant upside. It means it is depicting that they are having a higher energy, and in the case of endothermic, they are mentioned downside. It means they are having a lower energy. Okay. Same thing is going to be for the products also. Like over here, if I talk about the products, then in the case of the products, it is having the lower energy, and over here higher energy. Okay. So energy exchange is measured in kilojoules, that is kJ, and 1 kilojoules is equal to 1000 joules, typically calculated per mole of reactant or products, that is kilojoules per mole. Next is enthalpy of reaction. Like we have taken example for the enthalpy change for the methane, burning is high, that is minus 728 kilojoules per mole. Now let's see over here that when we burn the methane, we have seen that in this particular case we have the reactants with the higher energy. Just now we have seen over here in the example of the exothermic reaction also. And when they burn, means methane burns in the presence of oxygen, it produces the CO2 and H2O over here. And you got over here the negative sign, which depicts that it is a typical example of the exothermic reaction. Okay. Next topic is bond making and bond breaking. Now, whenever any chemical reaction takes place, there will be what? There will be the breaking of the bond as well as the formation of the bond. You know that whatever the substances which are present in our periodic table except the noble gases, they all make they undergo the bond formation. And why they undergo the bond formation? Because they want to complete their octet, means they want to attain their nearest inert gas electronic configuration. Okay, so that's why they participate in the bonding. So whenever the reaction involves or the reaction is taking place, there will be the breaking of the bond as well as there will be the formation of the bond. So breaking of the bond requires the energy intake, so that is going to be the endothermic in the nature. And when there is the formation of the bond, it releases the energy, so it is going to be the exothermic in the nature. Like over here, if you look, then when there is the formation of the bond, it is the exo over here. We have mentioned it in a uppercase. Why? To highlight it that whenever there is the bond formation, there will be the release of the energy, and whenever there is the breaking of the bond, it is going to be the absorption of the energy. So that's why it is going to be the endothermic in the nature. Now this making and breaking of the bond, if I talk about, like taking this again the same example, that is the combustion of the methane, it is how that all the bonds are going to break over here. Like in the case of the methane, we have the CH bond. In the case of the oxygen, we have the OO bond. So all of them are going to break first. After breaking, they convert it into the individual atom, and then they are going to rearrange them, which we are saying that there is the formation of the new bonds. So we get the CO2 and the H2O. So this is how we have the bond making and bond formation process. So over here, we have certain experimental values which determine the bond energy by breaking the covalent bonds. So bond energy represents the strength of the bond. Like over here we have the certain values, like in the case of the hydrogen, its bond energy is 436. In case of the CH bond, it is 435, 464 in the case of the water, then 347 for the carbon-carbon bond, 498 for oxygen, for carbon dioxide it is 803, and for nitrogen it is 945. So these are the certain values, and whenever we get a question over here, we get a numerical based question. In that we are given with the values of the bond energies. So if I require to calculate the bond energy, how we calculate the bond energy? Whatever the number of the reactants are there, we are going to just do the summation of the bond energy of reactant minus summation of the bond energy of the product. Okay. So we are going to discuss these numerical during our PYQs discussion also. So let's move ahead. Next is activation energy. Now look, what is activation energy? Now look over here, when I am talking about the activation energy means I just pick over here the word active. So active I am relating with something to activate, isn't it? So it is the minimum amount of energy which is required by any particle to initiate a chemical reaction. And for chemical reaction, why we require? Because when this minimum amount of energy will be present over there, the particles are going to collide with each other. So when they are going to collide with each other, then only the possibility of the reaction is going to be there. Otherwise, it won't be there. Another point, see, suppose in a container I am having the 100 particles. It doesn't mean that I am going to get the 100 conversions over there or the 100 chemical reactions. If 100 particles are getting collide along each other, then a very little amount of the my useful collision are going to be there, or which are going to produce a result for me. They are going to be the very minimum amount only. So basically the activation energy is what? It is the minimum energy necessary to initiate a chemical reaction, and for this chemical reaction to occur, the colliding particles must have at least this energy. Like over here, if you look, again the same example, the combustion of the methane only I am carrying out. So that is the reactant. When the reactant collided, like slowly the reaction take place. So slowly the rate of the reaction is going to increase, and they attain a peak over this point, isn't it? So from this particular point to this point, it is going to be my activation energy. So over here I got the higher rate of the collisions, and the rest of the area is going to be my enthalpy of reaction. Means that in that particular area my reaction took place, but where they get activated? At this particular area. Okay. So for atoms to collide or to react with each other in a chemical system, it means they must collide with each other. And number of effective collisions, if I talk about, they are in terms, or the success of the collisions are in terms of the energy, in terms of the orientation, and number of collisions per second the frequency of collisions. Okay, so means activation energy is what? It is necessary for the initial bond breakage in the reactions, and energy released from the new bond formation sustains the reaction. Some reactions have low activation energy starting spontaneously, and others have the higher activation energy, need external input to begin. So if you look in the case of the exothermic reaction, the reactant's energy is high. So in that particular case, I am having this particular as the activation energy. Remember one thing, that activation energy we denote by the letter EA. E in the uppercase and A in the lowercase, and the rest of the amount remains the delta H, that is your enthalpy of the system, or you can say of the reaction. Similarly, we have the graph for the endothermic. Now look, in endothermic we are giving heat to it. So this complete area remains the activation energy over here, and this area remains the enthalpy of the system. So this was all about the complete chapter. Only these 4-5 points are only important over here in this chapter. Let's see the type of the questions which we get in this particular chapter. The first question is from the year 2024, from the February-March series, and it is from the variant 12. The question says, when calcium carbonate is heated strongly, carbon dioxide gas is produced. So let me write down the reaction. It is CaCO3. You are heating it. When you are heating it, you are getting a CO2 gas and the calcium oxide over here. So basically what we are doing, we are providing the heat to it. Okay. So you can say that calcium carbonate is absorbing the heat. Now further the question is saying which word describes the type of change that occur. Now when you are providing heat to it, it is what doing? It is undergoing a thermal decomposition. Okay, it is undergoing a thermal decomposition. So when we used a giving heat or absorption of the heat, it means it is an endothermic reaction. The one thing we got over here. Now this calcium carbonate is decomposing into a calcium oxide and CO2 gas, isn't it? Now it is not like this, that if I am going to again put together them, then again I am going to get the calcium carbonate. So such type of the reactions which are not reversible in the nature, or you can say which are irreversible in the nature, they are going to be a chemical changes. So option A is going to be my correct answer over here. So coming to the next question. Now look, the next question is from the variant 22 February-March series and 2024 year. Now look, this question is saying the equation for the complete combustion of ethane is shown. That is, we are given with this particular equation over here. And it is saying the bond energies are listed. What is the enthalpy change for the reaction when 1 mole of ethane is completely burnt? Now look, whenever we require to find out the bond energy, it is basically the reactant energy minus product energy. So first let's calculate the energy for the reactants, which is going to be equal to 2 multiplied by 837. Now why I am putting over here 837? Because in total I am having the 2 moles of the ethine. So means I am having the 2 C triple bond C plus 4 multiplied by 415. Okay, plus I am having the 4 CO2, isn't it over here? So sorry, 5 O2 I am having. So 5 multiplied by 498. So when I am going to calculate it, I am just using a calculator. It is going to give me the 5824. Okay. Now I talk about the energy of the product. Energy of the product is going to be what? 8, because one CO2 molecule is having the 2 CO bonds. So 4 are going to have the 8. So it is going to be 8 multiplied by 805 plus 2 HOH. Now one molecule of water is having the 2 OH bond. So 2 is going to have the 4 HOH bond. So 4 multiplied by the 464, which is going to be on calculator 8296. Okay. Now basically when we find out the bond energy, we do the energy of reactant minus energy of the product. So it is going to be what? 5824 minus 8296. So when you are going to subtract it, let me subtract it. What we are going to get it? We are going to get 8296 minus 584, 8296 minus 5824. It is going to be minus 2472. Now look, the point to be noted over here and the most common mistakes done by the students is what? The question clearly mentioned over here that it want the answer for the 1 mole of ethyne. But in our question, the stoichiometry was 2. So whatever the calculation we did for the 2 moles. So now what we require to do? For the 1 mole, divided by the 2. So on dividing it by the 2, it is going to be 1236. So option B is going to be my answer because this value is going to come in the negative 1236. Okay, this is how. Now it was a very simpler form that they gave the question. Note over here that sometimes they do not give in the open structure form, they give the condensed structure. So it is advisable to make the open structures. Next question is from the variant 22 February March series and year 2024. It says, which statement defines the activation energy for a reaction? Now look, activation energy is what? Activation energy is basically a minimum amount of energy required to collide, or you can write down for collision, okay, or to collide particles. So now let's see over here. It is the minimum energy that colliding particles must have to react. I think this is going to be our correct answer. Let's see the other options also. It is the minimum energy that endothermic reaction taken in from its surrounding. No, it is the maximum energy. Now because of the maximum, it is going to be wrong. That exothermic reaction transfer to the surrounding, the complete statement is wrong. And it is the maximum energy released when the bonds in the products of the reaction form. So here we get that answer, option A is only the correct answer. Next is, which row describes what happens during a endothermic reaction? As I told you that endothermic reaction means that there is the absorption of heat, and it is from the variant 11 May June month and year 2024. So thermal energy is transferred. Now there is the absorption of heat. It means that this absorption of heat we are taking from the surrounding. So in this particular case, what is happening? The delta H is equal to positive because the heat is coming from the surrounding. So what is happening? The surrounding temperature is what? Surrounding temperature is decreasing. So now let's come to our option. Thermal energy is transferred from the surrounding. So these two I can expect as the correct answer and C, D cannot. Change in temperature of the reaction mixture. Now look, temperature of surrounding is decreasing, but your reaction mixture is taking the heat, so its temperature is increasing. So option B is going to be our correct answer over here. Next question is again from 2024. Basically, I took the questions from the 2024 only mainly. It is from the variant 13 May-June series. Which statement about endothermic reactions are correct? Now, Again, endothermic means absorption of heat. Now, the energy of the products is greater than the energy of the reactants. Look, if you remember, when we see this particular, what we look over here in that particular case, that why we require to give the heat, because the energy of the reactant was lower, and then the reaction took place and we get the product. So energy of the product is basically is what it is going to be the higher. So this statement is correct. It is saying energy of the reactant is greater. No, it is smaller, or you can write down the lesser. The temperature of the surrounding increases during the reaction. When you are taking heat from the surrounding, then how its temperature could increase? Its temperature is going to decrease. The fourth point is saying the temperature of the surrounding decreases during the reaction. So this is also the correct statement. So our answer is going to be option B over here. Next question. Next question is again from the 2024 from the variant 12 May-June series. Three reactions are described. An acid is added to substance H. Rapid fizzing happens and the temperature decreases. Okay. When substance J is ignited, it produces a large quantity of heat. So I can say that it is what? It is a endothermic in the nature. And for the first one, acid is added to a substance, rapid fizzing happens and the temperature decreases. Acid reaction is always going to be the exothermic. Okay. Substance K reacts slowly with air and becomes warmer. So it is reacting very slowly and becoming a warmer in the nature. So basically what it is also endothermic. So which reactions are endothermic? Second and third. So option D is going to be our answer. Okay. Coming to the next question, it is again from the 2024 May-June series variant 21. The reaction between hydrogen and oxygen releases 486 kilojoules per mole of energy. The bond energy of HH is 436 moles kg per mole, and that of HO is 464 kilojoules per mole. What is the bond energy of OO? So let's calculate it. Bond energy 2 multiply by 436 plus O2 I have to find out minus HO bond. For one HO it is 464. So basically I am having the 4 HOs 464. Sorry, the minus sign I require to kept over here. Minus. Okay. So let's calculate. 2 multiply by 436 is going to be 872 plus O2 minus 4 multiply by 464 1856. So ultimately it is going to be how much? 872 minus 1856. So it is going to be minus 984. Okay. But when I am going to take O to that side, it is also going to become negative. So my answer is going to be plus 984. That is option D is going to be my correct answer over here. Okay. So I just write over here O2 is going to be minus 984 and you are going to cancel out the both. So it is going to be 984 kilojoules per mole. Next is saying which reaction pathway diagram shows the reaction that will give out the most energy. The scale on the y-axis is same in each reaction. Now look, we'll give out the most energy, will give out the most energy, it means that it should be exothermic. In the case of exothermic, our reactant energy should be higher, isn't it? So, in the case of exothermic, if I talk about, the reaction energy should be higher. So, it means that in this particular case, I am having the higher reactant energy, and this case also I am having the higher reactant energy. So, actually, option A and D both are going to be my correct answers. Okay. And it is from the year 2024 May-June series and variant 21. Next question says, three statements about activation energy are listed. Colliding particles must have least activation energy before they can react. Yes, activation energy means what? That it is the minimum amount of energy which is required by an reacting particles or the colliding particles. So this statement is correct. Activation energy for exothermic reaction is always greater than for the endothermic reaction. Now look, we have seen that in the case of the your exothermic and endothermic reactions, we saw the graph. And if you look the graph, what was there in the case of the graphs, that if you are going to make the graph, let's see over here. So if I make a exograph, this is the exo and this is the endograph. So reactant energy is more, somewhat like this, and over here the reactant energy is less, somewhat like this. Now in this particular case, this is going to be my activation energy, and in this particular case, if I talk about that, this is going to be my activation energy. Now question is saying activation energy for exothermic reaction is always greater. So we are looking that it is not greater. So this is not going to be my answer. Activation energy is always endothermic in the nature. Now look, when it is saying that it is always endothermic in the nature and asking which statement is or which statement is are correct. So in this particular case, if you look, then the correct statement is going to be the option 1 and somewhat we can say 3. So option 1 and 3. So option C is going to be my answer. Next is plant cells use energy from sunlight for photosynthesis. Which row describes and explains the energy change that occur? Now look, plant cells, we have seen that photosynthesis is an endothermic in nature. So when we are talking about endothermic in the nature, so from here and here I can get the my answer. Now it is saying less energy is released making bonds then is absorbed to break bonds. More energy is released making bonds then is absorbed to break bonds. So my option B is going to be the correct answer. So it means if I look, it is again from the 2024 variant 23 and series May-June. Coming to the next question. Next question says two different experiments are done to find the enthalpy change of each reaction, and the temperature of each reaction mixture is measured at the beginning of the reaction, and after 3 minutes which row gives the correct sign for the value of delta H for each experiment and identifies the reaction. Now I am just repeating the question. The temperature of each reaction mixture is measured at the beginning. At the beginning, if I look, then over here I am having the temperature at This is, so I take it as a 26, and over here I am having 15, 16, 17, and then in this particular case initial is 24, and over here after 3 minutes it is 40. Okay, so let's see the question. The temperature of each reaction mixture is measured at the beginning of the reaction and after 3 minutes. So in the experiment 1, if I look, the temperature decrease, and in experiment 2, if we look, then temperature increase. Now the question is saying which row gives the correct sign for the value of delta H for each experiment and identifies the reaction is exothermic or endothermic. Now temperature is decreasing. Now when I am saying the temperature is decreasing over here of each reaction, it is saying. So we know for the endothermic, delta H is equal to positive, and for exothermic, delta H is negative, isn't it? So temperature of each reaction, it is saying, not the surrounding. So over here the temperature is decreasing. It means that we are providing a heat to our reaction in this particular case. So when, let's see the options further. Just I am getting aside so that you are able to look the all readings. So let's move to the complete question. Negative and endothermic. So in the first case, it was what? In that particular case, endothermic can never be negative. So this is not going to be my option. Exothermic, negative. Now look again. Over there, the reaction temperature decreased. So when the temperature is decreased, it is going to be what? Negative is going to be there and exothermic. So option B is going to be my correct answer. And this question is from the Variant 23 May-June series 2024 year. Coming to the next question, the reaction pathway diagram for a reaction is shown. Which statements are correct? The reaction is exothermic. Now look over here, the reactant energy is what? It is low and product energy is high. Whenever we have the reactant energy low, it is a endothermic reaction. So this reaction is endothermic. Now when the reaction is endothermic, we are taking heat from the outside. So the surrounding temperature is decreasing. So fourth, so second and fourth, so option D is going to be our answer. It is from the year 2023 variant 11 October-November series. Next question. The initial and final temperatures of 4 different reactions are measured. Which reaction is least exothermic in the nature? Now, if I talk about the initial and final temperatures, so just subtract them. The value which is going to be the lesser over here, that is going to be the least exothermic. So for this, I am going to use a again calculator. So let's find out. It is going to be 25 minus 19, that is your 6. Then 18 minus 21, so minus 3. Then 17 minus 22 minus 5, and 26 minus 22. So that is going to be 4. Okay. Now from looking this particular calculation, you can say that these two values came to be positive. So it means that these two are what? They are the endothermic. And in this particular case, C option, I am having a larger difference. So it says that which reaction is the least exothermic. So that is going to be the option B. It is from the variant 2023, year 2023, variant 12, October-November series. Next is, when water is added to anhydrous iron chloride, FeCl3 hydrated iron chloride, that is 6H2 is formed and energy is given out. So basically energy is coming outside. It means that it is a exothermic reaction. Which reaction pathway diagram represents the formation of anhydrous iron chloride in the reverse direction? Represents the formation of anhydrous. So we are just reversing it back. So when reversing it back, it means that it is going to take the energy, isn't it? When it is FeCl3 6CH2 is formed and energy is given out. Okay, so it means that it is going to take the energy. Reverse means that, so it means that it is going to be endothermic. So when I am saying that it is going to be the endothermic, it means option A is going to be my answer, because these are going to be my, sorry, for the formation of anhydrous. So sorry, formation of anhydrous it is saying. So now FeCl3 6H2 is going to be my reactant, not the product. So where it is at the downside over here. So option B is going to be my answer. Okay. Next question. Which reaction pathway diagram represents an endothermic reaction? So endothermic reaction means the reactant energy is less and product is higher. So A and B is representing that only. But when we are saying endothermic, delta H value comes out to be positive. And over here it is negative. So this could not be my answer. Option B is going to be my answer. So with this, we finish our discussion of this particular chapter, that is chemical energetics. I hope you understood the main concept, and you have also seen that we have the questions from exo, endo, activation energy and bond energy only. So just keep on practicing such type of question, and I am very sure that by looking such videos and practicing such questions, you are going to ace your marks in the upcoming chemistry exams. So till the next till the next topic discussion, stay connected, stay tuned. Till then, goodbye.